In today's video, I'm trying out a Boros Aggro list, a list that you can use if you ended up crafting Slickshot Show-Off and Emberheart Challenger and all the Boros lands that I recommended in my Monday video. And this list is a list that was used by Medikit to reach #1 this season in Mythic. Now my list has changed a little bit. I did modify some things ever so slightly, but this is the original list. If you do want to try this specific list out, this player was using 4 copies of Lorehold Charm and of course a full 4 copies of Shelter by Ghost. I have since changed a few things to the list because, well, I felt that the list wasn't running as smoothly as I would have liked it to do. One thing that was a little bit off for me was it was only running 20 lands, and I felt with so many 2 CMC cards, there were a ton of 2 CMC cards in the list. 20 lands seemed to be a little bit low. You kind of want to reach 4 or maybe even 5 mana with this list so that you can really sling out a whole bunch of spells in one turn, but I was finding myself getting stuck on 2 mana quite often. The list was also playing 4 copies of Lorehold Charm, which I have been a little bit unimpressed with this card. It's fine, it's decent, but man, it just doesn't really work the same way that you want it to or the way you imagine it working. So I have gone down to 2 Lorehold Charms. I've gone down to 2 Shelter by Ghosts. There's so much removal in the format these days. I feel like trying to get a Shelter by Ghost onto a creature is such a risky thing. It's still a very powerful card, but I didn't want to run the full 4 of that. And I've also trimmed 1 Lightstall Inquisitor, and in place of those cards, I went up 4 Bolt Waves because I want ways of triggering my Slickshot Show-Off and my Emberheart Challenger's prowess. And Bolt Wave is just like a really good card. I think it's something nice to have. And then I also went up 1 Multiversal Passage. The original list was only running 3. So the list is pretty stock, you know, it's just like a Boros burn list, but we're going to see how it performs on the ladder in Diamond and see if we can climb ever so slightly with this particular list. And it's just a different flavor of list that you can use if you did end up crafting some of these other Boros cards. So let's hop into some games and see how it goes. See you over there. How did I say that player's name? It's just Medicate, right? What, did I put like an N in there when I said it in the intro? I'm not sure. My brain is cooked. Opening hand, a little bit sketchy because we would kind of want to see like one of our 2 CMC creatures, but maybe we'll put all of our faith into the Higher Claw and hope that the Higher Claw can push through enough damage, and then these burn spells can close it out for us. A little unfortunate that we drew another Multiversal Passage, but we will want that eventually. It's just that the Sunbillow Verge at its base will only make white mana. The opponent is on mono red as well, playing some of my favorite mount. I love this mountain. And it is the Fugitive Codebreaker. We're not blocking that, but I do have a feeling that it is going to be eating a shock. So let's send that onto the Codebreaker. We'll put out the Lightstall Inquisitor, see what's in the opponent's hand, and then get in just for 2 points of damage. Yeah, not too bad. Not a bad start. Interesting card. This card is one of those cards that I have looked at a few different times and kind of wondered if I should be putting it into my deck. It's good. It's a 2 CMC prowess creature with haste. Like, it's very similar to our Emberheart Challenger, right? But it being a rare, the disguise being kind of an ability that people don't really want to use. It's essentially useless. I don't know. The opponent really having a hard time with this Lightstall Inquisitor taxation. I guess we all have problems with taxes. And they decide to get rid of a second Fugitive Codebreaker. So get in for 2 with the Higher Claw and see what the opponent's follow-up is. This Burst Lightning and Shock might need to do a lot of heavy lifting in this matchup. If we can end up finding a Slickshot Show-Off off the top, we'll be in pretty good shape. Obviously. Talk about card. Oh no, I drew a Slickshot Show-Off. What a woe is me, right? So apparently the tax from the Lightstall Inquisitor was devastating to the opponent, so much so that they're just like, I'm not playing this game anymore. I don't know what that's all about. Anyways, we'll put out the Sunbillow Verge, level up or pump up the Higher Claw to get just a little bit more damage in, and I don't know, shock something that they put onto the field. They put a blocker here. We hit it with the shock with the mana from the Sunbillow Verge, and then probably kill them or nearly kill them on the next turn. What a weird situation. Opponent, what are you doing? I've seen people tilt out to a lot of cards. I don't think I have ever seen someone tilt out to a Lightstall Inquisitor before, though. All right, so we got our free win. Sometimes you get a nice gift from Wizards of the Coast. They just send it in the mail and you get your free win. Oh, do y'all like Slickshot Show-Offs? Let's see if the old if the old 3 Slicky hand can get it done. Triple Slick. Okay, the question is now, do I put Sacred Foundry out untapped or tapped? And I think I'm going to take the opportunity to put it out untapped because if they have a Llanowar Elf, you got to hit it with your Burst Lightning. And if I don't put it out untapped, I'm not really going to have the opportunity to do that in the future because we want to be, we want to do the Slickshot Show-Off on turn 2. Now, it didn't really work out. We just took 2 points of damage for no reason, but I think it was worth the cost. That's one of these things you got to kind of weigh, especially in best of 1. You never know what your opponent's on. These days, a lot of people are running around with Badger Molcubs and Llanowar Elves. I was in my last video. Yeah. Also, what do you think about the stained glass lands? I don't know how I feel about them. But we're just going to plot a second Slickshot Show-Off, and you know what we're doing. We're going to try to do the triple threat and see if we can find an opening. This might actually be a mono blue elementals deck, which is bad news because that might mean the Eddie Merc Crab is going to be live. Eddie Merc Crab is 6 mana, correct? Seven mana? Eddie Merc Crab. Eddie Merc Crab is 7 mana. Very useful tool. 7 mana. And so that means right now it is getting a discount of 3. So they do not have enough mana to cast the Eddie Merc Crab. Does that mean that this turn I need to do the triple slick shot? I think it does. We're going for it. So Slicky 1. Because if the opponent is allowed to tap down these Slickshot Show-Offs, I mean, we lose so much value. I didn't do that wrong, right? 7 minus 3. And they don't have it. Okay. Sure. Guess what? One more to the field. And they won't have, but do I just want to fire off the Boros Charm now, or do I want to put the Lightstall Inquisitor onto the field and the Burst Lightning? I think that's fine. Let's tax them a little bit, get another creature on the field. It would have been nice to have the triple Slickies, but we only have a double Slicky, and it is in fact going to be Elementals, which means that probably we're going to have a hard time finishing off this game. The opponent could have a pretty big turn here. We also don't need that like that. If they just spend the turn, though, putting down like an Elune, that's going to be bad news for the opponent, especially if we actually draw some action. If we draw, oh my god, it is an Elune. If we end up drawing Bolt Wave, for example, Burst Lightning, Shock, any of these cards are going to be huge. Yeah. Now they do still have 1 mana here. So if they do have, let's say, Into the Floodmaw, that could be pretty bad for us. Bounce Off, bad for us. Okay. Well, we'll attack in with the Air Crew, and we'll see. Let's put the Burst Lightning up top. I don't know. If it goes through, we might take them down to 1. Are they going down the full 10 or just 5? Oh, okay. I'm so glad we got that through. I feel like if the opponent had like 1 more turn, we were probably going to be in such a bad position there because they would have been able to stop everything that we were going to do. We were going to get hit with Sunderflocks and Eddie Merc Crabs and everything. So there's the aggro plan working out. I think it was correct to slam the triple slicks on turn number 4. So this is another video. This is the second time recording Boros Aggro because I made a mistake and I deleted some files. If you watch my Wednesday's video, you'll know that I also deleted files there. Um, in that video, I also went 6-4. I went 6-4 with the Cub and with the Boros Aggro list. So we're hoping today that we can have another 6-4 run. If I end up doing 10 whole games, I don't know. We'll see if we get the whole 10 in. But that's the plan. That's the hope. Let's plot the Slickshot Show-Off. The opponent running Demir means I'm going to have to wait for my opportunity to be able to get this Slickshot on the field. But we have a ton of burn in the field. All of this with the Slickshot Show-Off being kind of like an extra 2 points. Is that actually the moment now? They might have Requiting Hex, but they're going to have Requiting Hex in the future. They're never not going to have Requiting Hex. They don't? Okay. Chalk up top. Chalk up top. Everything getting 2 extra damage thanks to Slickshot Show-Off. This is what you want to see. Okay. We found our moment. Down to 7. The opponent needs something big. They might be on like a Kavaro list here. Maybe. When I usually see... So I think that's Sultai colors. I have a hard time remember. Oh, okay. Well, GG. It is Kavaro. You know what I don't feel bad about doing? Destroying Kavaro players with Slickshot Show-Off. I don't think I would ever feel bad about that. Oh, they conceded before they knew that we had lethal damage. Love it. Love it. Love it. That's 3 games in the bag. Nice and quick. Let's keep rolling. How you been? You doing all right? Also, how's the weather where you are? Weather around here, getting nice. And I think it's time to start getting out on the bike a little bit, enjoying my mornings. I have not been doing it. I've been having a little bit of a hard time finding the motivation to do that. But I think soon enough I'm going to be doing that because the weather is getting awfully nice and the pollen season has kind of disappeared, which is also nice. That's a problem. Do I need to double shock the Drake Hatcher? Drake Hatcher is actually like a big problem, and I can't really do anything about that. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. But you know what? If the opponent ends up pumping up the Drake Hatcher next turn and getting enough counters on it, then they can make 2/2 Drakes, and I'm not getting through the 2/2 Drakes. We do not have great evasion. Our evasion is just flying. So, yeah, yikes. But yeah, how about that weather, right? Chit chat about the weather. There's a good chance that the opponent probably has a shock or a burst lightning for my Emberheart Challenger. So I think running it out just now like this, probably not the best way to go about things. Slickshot Show-Off. Dang. Dang, dang, dang. We are flooding. I don't think this works, right? There's no way I can take the risk of putting the Shelter by Ghost onto the Emberheart Challenger. Okay, what we're going to do is we're just going to attack in with the Emberheart Challenger, see if they react. If they try to kill the Emberheart Challenger, dang. My plan here was maybe they kill the Emberheart Challenger, I put out the Slickshot Show-Off, I use the Shelter by Ghost to eat the Slickshot Show-Off. Boomerang Basic, bouncing it back. That's fine. That's like the least damaging thing that they could have done to me. We're not gonna win drawing this many lands. Ready to get punished? I don't think I have a chance. I don't have a choice. I do have a slight choice. Put out the Slickshot Show-Off first to at least make the opponent like consider what they're going to do here. So do they leave me with a Slickshot or do they kill the Emberheart Challenger? They have the Burst Lightning. So it's kind of a blowout. That sucks, but it was kind of expected. Burst Lightning off the top here would be so good. It's not bad. It's not good though. Fire Claw. All right. We may have just drawn the wrong end of our deck. Again, honestly, it's this is a matter of 7 lands being a big old problem. We still have a chance though if we draw something. Come on, deck. You know what? I'm just gonna go for it. I'm gonna put as much damage on the opponent. I'm sure next turn I'm dead, but you know, if I'm sitting here chump blocking, I'm also gonna be dead. I guess I'll put out the Slickshot Show-Off as I could have attacked it with it. I'm tilting out a little bit on this one. Oh, my jaw cracked there. Ouch. Tilting out a little bit because we've drawn so poorly. The opponent honestly hasn't drawn all that great either. 3 lands and a bunch of creatures, but here's the Boomerang Basics. And is that lethal? That's lethal damage. All right. We needed 4 fewer lands, maybe 3 fewer lands, and maybe then we could have actually functioned properly. But what are you going to do when you draw all your lands? I should change my channel name to "What are you gonna do?" I feel like I say that a lot these days. So you get into these situations where they have a when you have 1 land, what are you gonna do? They have a Kona on turn 3. What are you gonna do? All right, we'll throw away the Bolt Wave, I guess, and hope that we can. Honestly, the Boros Charm might be the thing to throw. I don't know. We need the Burst Lightning for a little bit of interaction here. We need to kill their Llanowar Elf on turn 1. Can't allow that to happen. I really wonder, like, okay, so this deck is kind of cool. So last Monday, I played the Boros Auras deck, and the Boros Auras deck was also playing the Emberheart Challenger, which gets quite a bit of benefit from the auras hitting it. This deck is really not taking full advantage of the Valiant, especially since I've taken out 2 of the Shelter by Ghosts. So, is the Emberheart Challenger actually good in this deck, or is it a little bit mid? And now I'm kind of wondering, like, maybe this is the wrong approach for this. I'm playing this list because it was a list that apparently did very well for some person Medicate and allowed them to get up to the top spot, playing a lot on that day 1. But something feels a little bit awkward with the Emberheart Challenger specifically in this list, because we are a burn list. I don't know, I feel like I should, or I kind of want something else. But, let's put some damage up top. Get in for 9. They're not going to block with the Badger Mokub. They are now at 3 mana. They missed their land drop last time, and we are drawing too many lands again. We don't want to see a single land off the top. Earthbender Ascension gives them 1 more land, and the Shaz's Choco gets ever so slightly bigger. They might hold that back as a blocker this time. Yep. Yikes. Big yikes. You never... So that was one of the things when when I found the deck originally, I tried it out and they were running 20 lands. I played, I don't know, 5-6 games with it, and the deck did not function on 20 lands. And I kind of thought to myself, like, how is it possible that the opponent, how is it possible that that other player, Medicate, was able to function on 20 lands? Because I am constantly getting screwed. There's nothing I can do in most of these games. And so then I went up to 22 lands, and 22 lands felt a little floody. So then I went down to 21, and that's where I am now. And I know this is just variance. This is just variance. We're drawing this many lands 2 games in a row. It happens from time to time. Sometimes you just hit weirdness, right? And I know I'm going to get at least one person talking about the shuffler on Magic Arena. I don't know. Everyone's got their theories about the shuffler, right? I'm gonna see one more card here, and I think I'm gonna scoop it up because we're essentially dead. They have now near. I mean, we might not even see one more card. We might just get Crater Hoofed here. That's a lot of mana. What are you doing with 10 mana? Oh, okay. So this is the Pro Tour deck probably, and they are definitely going to win here. But the reason they're winning, like we had our moment. The moment was not drawing the 4th, 5th, and 6th land. So one more, just for funsies. Let's see what we draw. Oh my god, it's so many triggers. Stop with the triggers. That was cool though. Diadrine eating the Earthbent lands so that they come back, getting more triggers for the Shaz's Chocobo. And okay, we'll put out one more land just to be like, oh, lands, right? Okay, we went on a hot run at the start. Now we've hit the bad pocket. We're gonna bounce back though. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. By the way, down in the comments, leave all your best Magic the Gathering conspiracies, especially your Magic the Gathering Shuffler conspiracies. I want to read all of them. Please, leave them all down in the comments. I want to read every single one of them. I love I love seeing those comments. Lightstone Inquisitor on 1. We have 2 lands. Unfortunately not. Oh man, it's Jeskai control. Why has it got to be Jeskai? Why are we going mana screw into Jeskai control? Brutal. All right, Slickshot. All right, Slickshot. Onto the field. If they have the Lightning Helix next turn, they have it, but we're gonna make them have it. Oh, they have it every single time. That's my conspiracy. My conspiracy, if you want one, is that opponents have they don't have 4 Lightning Helixes in their deck. They people who play Jeskai Control, they have modded the game so that they have 15 Lightning Helixes in their deck, or in their deck every single time. That's I firmly believe that. I think there's no other possible explanation for how an opponent can literally always have Lightning Helix. It doesn't matter. Every single time they have Lightning Helix. All right. I mean, I'm gonna do as much damage as I possibly can, but the opponent Lightning Helix is such a beating for this deck because the 3 mana or 3 life that they gain off of the Lightning Helix actually offsets so much damage from our deck. Oh. We're gonna try. What do you do in this situation? You try to do as much damage as you possibly can. Take the opponent down to 4. Pretty good. We're gonna eat a Day of Judgment here, and then we're gonna top deck a second Burst Lightning, and we will be fine, and all will be well in this world. Ill-timed explosion. Okay, not a Day of Judgment. May as well be a Day of Judgment, but we're still gonna top deck the Burst Lightning. Easy peasy, easiest game of my life. You know. Yeah, you know. It was scripted the whole time. It maybe didn't follow the script. You know, we went off script just ever so slightly, but the result's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Now this is game number 7, the Cody Throne. Get that name. And we have our creatures, and we also have, okay, so this could be interesting. So the ability on the Lorehold charm that I haven't used yet is creatures you control get +1/+1 and gain trample until the end of turn. And I have found that in this deck, it doesn't really work so well because we don't go that wide. I feel like this is something that I want to play in a Boros Weenies deck, where we're just spamming out a whole bunch of creatures on the board, which I should probably try to play something like that. That would be kind of fun. Ooh. When was the last time you saw somebody on Artifacts? I feel like Artifacts has just completely fallen to the wayside. Wait, Emberheart Challenger. Missing the land there is a big problem. Man, the lands have just not been cooperating, have they? We definitely needed the 3rd and the 4th land. Like this deck, I feel you need to hit 4 lands. You just 4. Not 5. 5's okay. 6, emergency, it's terrible, things are bad, just concede. You definitely need to hit at least at least some number of lands. So if I put out the Slickshot Show-Off, it's just kind of a blowout, right? If this shock were a land, we'd be in such better shape. We do have a lot of damage though in hand, and the opponent doesn't gain life. The problem is we kind of just die instantly. Hopefully they take this time to attack in with the 5/5 though. They'd be a little, you know, maybe they're a little bit greedy. Oh, yeah, it doesn't matter. I forgot that they could do that. They create 2 more and we are kaput. I think if we had drawn the 3rd land, we might have actually been able to win this one. But the deck is saying no. So now I'm at the spot where I'm chump blocking with this. I can push through a little bit of damage, but I think it's all futile. I suppose using the Lorehold charm to get back the Slickshot Show-Off could be a pretty good approach. But then again, like it's just not enough damage coming through, especially when they have I mean, we're dead in 1 turn, right? So I can deal 4 damage to the opponent with this Boros charm. Or is there any point in staying in this? Okay. We're chump blocking with the Emberheart Challenger so that we don't die, and then we're bringing back the Slickshot Show-Off. But even here, you know, if we had more mana, land. It's so close. It's actually so close, right? Had I drawn a land, I would have had lethal had I drawn a land. Had I just drawn a land, we could have gone burst lightning, burst lightning, burst lightning, or burst lightning, burst lightning, shock, and it would have been enough damage. Man, why does it feel like I'm just losing because of my mana base today? I think that's got to be the most frustrating way to play this, like when that happens. You know, your opponents can run well, that's fine, they beat you down. But when your deck is just sitting here doing nothing, oh, you just want to. I just reminded myself of a pretty fun story. When I had learned Magic at that point. Or I had been playing Magic at that point for like 2 or 3 years, so I knew the game fairly well. And I was playing at a board game cafe. And one day, I was at an event. I think it was I don't know if it was a pre-release or if it was just like a standard event. And I remember a guy came in and he was my opponent. And I sat down at the table and he was just mana weaving in front of me. And I remember seeing it and just being like, oh my God, it finally happened. Because I had heard about people mana weaving, but I had never seen it actually happen myself. And yeah, he was sitting there and he had his cards and he would, you know, put out 4 cards and then he put a land and 4 cards and put a land, something like this. It was just mana weaving his lands in between. And yeah, man, it's such a good memory for me to think about now. Mm. Slickshot Show-Off, plotted, no attack. I don't know what to do here. We're against everybody's favorite, Is It Prowess, and we might have run into kind of some bad stuff today. We don't want to see another land, of course. And I don't know, like the opponent being on the play with the Storm Chaser's talents and bouncing it back with the Boomerang Basic. Again, we're kind of in one of those spots where we might just die. But we do have Slicky, and if we can get the Slickshot on the field with the Sheltered by Ghost, maybe we'll be okay. Man, Sheltered by Ghost is such a great card, but these days, like, it's so vulnerable. Okay. All right. You're telling me there's a chance. Let's gain back as much life as we possibly can. Now, should I eat... I think I should eat one of these otters because they don't come back. These otters come back, and I'm not blocking those otters anyways, so what's the big deal? And I guess I will, but I will kill one of them just to set them back. We'll gain 6 life. May as well attack in with the Lightstall Inquisitor. I don't think they're ever trading off their elusive otter for that, and we might be in okay shape. The thing is, they can very easily bounce the Slickshot Show-Off or just straight up kill it. We lose our Shelter by Ghost in that case, so. But yeah, if there were a button that I could click to mana weave on Magic Arena, I might click that button. The Vibrant Outburst to murder the Slickshot Show-Off. They had the mana for it. They tapped down our Lightstall Inquisitor, and now we are in a spot. But, you know, it's not the worst. The opponent is kind of stuck on mana. Not mana. They've flooded out a little bit, is what I mean. And what was that last card? A Slickshot Show-Off of their own. Okay. Well, oh man, do I put this out untapped and pump up the... No. I don't think I can risk taking the damage. We're probably going to use this on the Slickshot. Okay. Steam Vents has to come in tapped. And we'll see how they attack here. I feel like that last card that they drew was nothing. Ooh. Wait. Let's challenge them. Do you want to trade some stuff off? Even if they have an instant speed spell, they can pump up their otters, but it's not going to be quite good enough. Whoa. Okay. Now I'm kind of leaning towards kicking the Burst Lightning for the win here. The higher claw plus... Yeah, okay. Yeah, let's take it down. Take it down. That's cool. That is cool. We take 3 points of damage. Not a big deal. Wow, no attack. And, well, okay. We got it all over the place. Boros Charm showing up at the most opportune time once again. And I guess we'll just do it this way. Boros Charm to the dome. Ooh, that's a sketchy one. You know what? Opponent, I feel like they kind of drew a little bit of the bad side of their deck. They had the Boomerang Basics once, but then I guess they did have some spells. I don't know. All right, we got 2 more games. Dana is our 9th opponent, and we get to go first. We are without creatures. This is the risky hand, right? So we have 14 points of damage in our hand, but 14 points of damage is not 20 points of damage. I guess you keep it. I mean, it's fine. It's functional. It's fine. We're going to say hello. We're going to be polite so that the game rewards us with a Slickshot Show-Off the top of our library so that we can maybe do something a little bit more with this mana. Okay. Okay. Well, we're going to kill the Marauding Mako because the Marauding Mako gets out of control a little bit too quickly. And I just don't want to deal with that. I'm also not going to throw off the Bolt Wave just yet because it might end up being good against or when we get some creatures. But maybe we're not going to be finding any creatures. I really need the opponent to do a little bit more damage to themselves with this, Shocklands, for example. Bloodghast to the field. Just hard cast a Bloodghast and then a Bloodthorn Flail. Okay. Well, let's put 1 Lightning Helix up top. We are going to be gaining quite a bit of life. So maybe we're on the full burn. Maybe we're actually like a burn deck today. Or in this matchup specifically. A Bloodghast getting in for 2. And they get to discard something. Not a big deal. I don't want to kill the Bloodghast because it just keeps coming back. There's no reason to put the Lightning Helix down there. Especially since Lightning Helix just gains me a little bit of life. And I don't think I'm going to be using the other modes on the Boros Charm. So I'm just going to fire it off. Okay. We need them. If they shock something in, we'll be in good shape, obviously. If we find a Slickshot Show-Off, we'll be in good shape. If we find... We have so many cards in our library that just win the game here. Iron Shield Elf is good for the future, especially now with the... I'm surprised... Okay, so the opponent could have played that a little bit better. They could have equipped the Bloodthorn Flail to this and then got the Flame Wake back. I don't know why they didn't do that. I'm on the burn them out plan. So take them down to 5. Not what I wanted to see. But I suppose what we can do is use the Shelter by Ghost to eat the Cool But Rude. And that will stop quite a bit of their damage. You know what? I'm going to fire off the Bolt Wave. They might have hand disruption. And also this makes it so that they can't shock in something. I don't know, maybe they would have shocked something in, but I think an opponent would be pretty hesitant about going down to 2 life anyways. But this at least means that they can't shock in something. They have the follow-up Cool But Rude. Okay. Now the Bloodghast can't block. I think it's fine for them to attack in with it. There's like no reason not to attack in with it. And unfortunately, they don't have red mana for the Flamewake Phoenix. Boom. Wait, no block. We're down to 17. We got lots of time. We got time, I guess. Ooh, there's the mountain, so they get to level up Rude. Come on, top deck. Damn. So I don't really think I can attack in with the higher claw. It would give me an opportunity to gain a little bit of life, but then they just block with the Iron Shield Elf, discard something, deal damage to us. I don't like it. And we might 17 is a big ask though. They only have 3 cards in hand, but this Cool But Rude deck can do some stuff, and they do have their stuff established, so their board established. So I think we might be in trouble. I think we have one more draw. Okay, Monument to Endurance, sure. So we have live draws. Higher Claw wins. Obviously Bolt Wave or Shock, Burst Lightning, Lightning Helix, Boros Charm. All of these cards win for us. In fact, even Slickshot wins for us. Emberheart. Basically, everything in my deck is going to win for me. The only thing that makes me lose is a land, and we've already drawn our 5th land. Don't do it to me. Don't. Right. Do I attack first? Yeah. Wait. Boom. Let's see what they do. I don't know if I'm going through, if it's necessary for me to go through this kind of motion, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to react to this when it's on the stack. Just to make it a little bit more difficult for them to do 10 damage to me. Again, was that necessary? I don't know. But it doesn't matter because we peel a win, and that means we are back up to 6 wins with this deck. We're going to play one more, see if we can have a little bit of a better win rate than I did the first time I recorded this. Our 10th and final game. Pog Salog? Sure. When it goes first, we have our Higher Claw. Higher Claw have been doing some pretty good work in the deck. I love this card. And actually, this was a huge draw for us because we did not have any red mana without it. Magic gods are on my side suddenly. And the opponent is on, what is this a Kavaro list? Mistrise Village plus Restless Cottage? Maybe? Maybe. We're putting out the mountains so that we have maximum red mana output. And from here, do they have... I don't think they have... I mean, even if they do remove the Higher Claw, it's fine. But okay, already down to 3, and we just have like the burn in hand to... Or down, what am I, 3? Down to 13. We have the burn in hand that we might be able to just actually wipe them out. They pitched a land, not a Kavaro. So they have to deal with the Higher Claw this turn. If they don't deal with the Higher Claw this turn, aren't they just dead now? So they do have 1 mana available to them, but this is so much damage. Yeah, I love burn. This is the burn that I want. I love spell flinging. I love throwing instances and sorceries at the opponent's face. I love this style. This is actually like the type of deck that got me into Magic. Playing Lightning Bolt in Modern with your Lightning Helixes and your Goblin Guides, and I really want this to come back. This is what I love doing. All right, so the deck felt okay, except when it didn't feel okay. There were times when the mana base was bumming me out, and yeah, I was getting a little haughty in some of those situations. But I mean, that's the situation. What are you going to do when your mana base just refuses to function? And once in a while, it's going to happen. But we did go 7-3 with the deck, and the losses were not really at the opponent didn't really kill. I mean, they did, of course, kill us. But I think we had a chance in a lot of those games had we just drawn ever so slightly better. Like in that one game against the artifact opponent, I would have had the win had I drawn a land with the Slickshot Show-Off and the Burst Lightnings and Shocks in hand. We would have been okay. But it just didn't shake out that way. So I think this is a pretty good list that the Medicate was on to. I think my changes are fine. I'm still not overly impressed with Lorehold Charm. I think it can do some cool stuff, but each opponent sacrifices a non-token artifact of their choice is really only good against your monument decks, and you need to have it at that perfect opportunity to get it in. It's not going to do enough against the regular Jeskai artifacts list that's running the simulacrums, because they're going to have so many artifacts that they're going to be willingly sacrificing instead of their important ones. And then reviving something from the graveyard is kind of cool. The Slickshot Show-Off being able, having a second chance coming back from the graveyard is awesome. But I also don't think that the last ability is all that great, because you just don't really have an opportunity to really get a big advantage out of it. Gaining trample is fine and all, but I don't know. What do you at most you're probably going to be gaining +2/+2, like to two creatures +1/+1 each, and gaining trample, whatever. I just don't think the Lorehold charm is as good as it needs to be in this deck. Probably I would cut it entirely. But let me know what you think. That's it for this one. It has been a long morning, but some good games in there and a little bit of fun, a little bit of happiness, especially burning opponents out at the very end. So hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think down in the comments. As always, I do appreciate everybody leaving comments down below. Very, very motivating to read all of your wonderful positivity. And thank you for subbing up. That's it for this one. I think I said that like 3 times now. Sangi Ipana, and see you all in the next one. Bye bye.